name is Alma. This is One Left Inboard. We're going to do a day in the life of a flight attendant. More like 3 days. I'm going to bring you along on a 3-day rotation with me. Let you know how all of that went. A little bit about me before we dive right in. I am a flight attendant for a mainline major legacy carrier based here in the U.S. I've been a flight attendant for 2 years. Today is Thursday. I was on my last working rotation starting last Saturday. I worked Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I've had 3 days off, and I begin duty tonight as Thursday rolls into Friday, but we're going to talk more about that rotation. I had a report time of 7:20 a.m. That's when I need to be signing in on my device. I have to be at a certain area inside the airport itself, not getting dropped off, not in the customer parking garage or the employee lot. I have to be inside this little geo-perimeter, I believe they call it. So if that's the case, 7:20 sign-in time, I want to be walking through the doors at 7 a.m. That's just kind of how I do my maths. If I walked into the door and hit that button at 7:20, technically, I would be signed in. I don't like to play it so close, so I'm going to be walking in at 7. That particular rotation, I went ahead and dropped myself off in the customer parking. I was a little closer to the terminal, so I squeaked in there around 6:40, I would probably guess, because I bet you I left my house around 6:15 in the morning. Not a lot of traffic at that time, and typically my trip is about 20 minutes long, my commute by car into the airport, and so giving myself that 35 minutes is almost double my anticipated drive time. So felt comfortable with that, probably squeaked in there about 6:45, parked myself, got into the airport, signed in. So I do one left inboard, depending on how many seats are up there, the jump seats in the front of the aircraft. That will mean that if there are any meals, they're going to be my responsibility. Day one, we had 3 flights. One was the distance length long enough to have a meal. So typically I would head in, I would go ahead and get all my pre-selects written down on a sheet. Some people have really nice stylized pages for this. I just snag one out of the employee lounge. It's sort of a chart that looks a lot like first class seating itself. I'm going to go on board as soon as I can. I want to count those meals, get them all written in, take those pre-selects and take them sort of out of my inventory. They took the time to ask for those. The ones that are on board are for them. Doesn't mean there aren't enough for everybody, but those are specifically there for them, and everybody else gets to choose from the remaining meals. So I'm going to count those and have all that done before any passengers get on board, if I can help it. Sometimes it overlaps about a couple minutes, but that is okay. So one leg had a meal. I land. I have enough time to go and catch my breath, take a bathroom break in a nice sized bathroom, an airport bathroom instead of an airplane bathroom, get to my gate and take a deep breath, and then I'm able to get on my next flight. Work the next flight. I have a bit of sit time at the next airport, but it's a nice big airport that is a flight attendant base for my airline, so there's an employee lounge there, and I even had access to sort of outside area to just get outside. I work in a tube, I lay over in a hotel, and I dash through airports. I'd love to be outside when I can. After that little sit, again, I haven't ever sat for longer than 3 hours at an airport unless there was crazy delays, of course, like weather delays and stuff like that, ground stops. But built into the rotation has not been more than a 3-hour sit. So anyway, 1 flight, 2 flight, last flight is a short little flight, and then I lay over. I don't have meals on the last 2. I get to my hotel around, I would say 9 o'clock that night. So if I was having to leave my house at 6:15 in the morning, I probably got up at 4:30 because I like to be a little human being of my own will before I go to work. So I was probably up at 4:30. And I was not getting to my hotel room until 9 p.m. Bit of a long day. I had about an 18 and a half hour layover. And as far as my airline, when you look at your rotation, you see your layover, they went ahead and guessed how long it's going to take you to be driven to and from the airport. And that is not in that number. So that number is about how much time you're going to actually spend at your hotel. Love that. 18 and a half hours. Beautiful weather where I was. I was catfished by a map on this layover, which must be a brand new sentence. The map showed a nice grassy area and it was called a park. It was named something park. And when I get there, it's just a grassy area on side of a main road. I actually attempted to do 2 podcasts there, the Reddit response, as well as the meal prep episode. I liked the little ambient sounds in the background, every now and then a whoosh of the car and a little bit of birds chirping and stuff. But alas, my lapel mics sort of distort my voice in some way. It sounds like, I don't know, I didn't like it. It didn't sound natural. So then I lay over, I spent a lot of time outside, and I have a shuttle time of somewhere between 1 and 2 p.m. I don't exactly remember. Head to my next flight, or the first flight of that second day. I do have meals. I get all that done. And then I have a very quick dash to, I think I kept the plane from the way it looks. We had a little bit of time on the aircraft with no passengers on to just take a deep breath. And I was able to slowly work into that next boarding process. Had meals on that second leg as well. Looks like I probably got to my hotel maybe around 11:30. I had just over a 15-hour layover there. Really loved that pool area. I've been to that hotel before. They have a really outstanding breakfast that doesn't cost me anything. You know I hate swiping my debit card. We're here to make money, not spend it. I don't care if I get paid per diem. I'm keeping that money. So nice free breakfast, a pool, and then a hot tub. I was able to soak these tired high heel feet. Love that. Again, love to spend time outside. So did a lot of time outside in the morning. These were later arrivals, these layovers. So I didn't spend any time outside really until the next day. Loved that. A shuttle time again, I would say probably 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And this was the third day, go home day. I had 2 legs, both of which had meals. My responsibility, no big deal. Tended to those. That first leg, I had a little bit of a bit of time in the airport. Not a whole lot, actually. Everybody got off. I was able to take my time getting to the next gate. And that airplane that I was going to work back down to base was just getting into planing by the time I arrived in the gate area. So I had time to go ahead and eat an amazing Cuban sandwich I had that a coworker got me at an airport. It was fantastic. Oh, amazing. So I had a little time to eat food, wash hands, go back, go to the bathroom, wash hands, wash up, and wait and be fresh for the next flight. I got off of that rotation a little after 11 and probably, everybody got off, got to my car, and got home thereabouts midnight on Monday. So that was a rotation. That is kind of typical, I would say, for me. There are flights that have 4 flights. Not many of them. There are many flights with rotations with 4 flights, and then 2 or 3 on the last day. And even more, 4 flights, 2 or 3. So I tend to just lose IQ points, sanity, all of that when I have those 4 legs in one day. So I try to put in my bid request to not have them. And most of the time that works out. So for Saturday, I left my house I woke up at 4:30, left my house around 6:15, arrived at my layover hotel, I would guess around 9 p.m. At a nice 18 and a half hour layover with a shuttle time around, I would say close to 2, after spending lots of the time of that early morning, early afternoon outside, loving soaking up the sun. I went on to fly 2 legs, both with meals, laying over around, I would say probably to my hotel a little after 11 p.m. Had a nice 15-hour layover, again, spending lots of time outside over by the pool and the hot tub, and then heading into work where I did 2 legs. all the way back to base. That's a rotation. Isn't that crazy? So here is what, let me tell you if I had to change gates. It looks like twice I didn't. That's cool. We like that where we get to keep the airplane. That's a pretty cool feature. A lot of flight attendants like. I hear it's more rare for the pilots. So I think it's a real treat for them. First day, I did not keep a single airplane. Every single gate, every single time I landed, I changed gates. The second day, I stayed on the same aircraft for both legs. We loved that. I actually took that aircraft from the second day out on the third day for that first leg, and then did change gates for that final leg back into base. So a little bit more about how my month has gone. Starting at the very beginning of the month, I had the day off. Then I had a go and come back, and I was probably, gone, like signing in at 6 and getting back before 3. So leaving the house thereabouts 5 something and getting back around 4. Day off, 3 days working on duty, 3 days off, 3 days on, 4 days off, 3 days on, 3 days off, 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off. And that's just for the month. We don't know what's going to be right after that last set of 3 days of duty or not. I fly that one left position, that lead flight attendant position. And that is what it looks like I've got all month per request. So I love that for me. I have some reserve days that I'm going to try to get some go and come backs and really try to make it work for me. Last month, I had 3 reserve days back to back, and I was able to get a go and come back on day 1. Then I saw a go and come back, but go in the evening and come back where you land in the morning, but you never you never sleep, you never rest, you never go to a hotel. Your duty day, I think, is like 13 hours, 14 hours. And your flight time is pretty high because it's go a far way and come back a far way. And it's that red eye return. It's a little sticky, but I knew by the time I'd get back, I would be illegal. They could not work me again for the rest of that last day, but I would still get paid for being on duty, even though I was illegal for it. Amazing. Love that. Little tips and tricks that I have taught myself that I'm going to try to do again this month. So wish me luck on that. If you're a flight attendant that has crazy, like structured trips, like some pilots say they are like, oh, this is day 5. I'm like, what? Tell us all about that. Tell us all about regional carriers and all of the variations that exist inside of Legacy and Mainline. I would love to hear if you've ever flown a 5-leg day. I've never even overlooked that on a schedule. I don't even think we have more than 4 legs for us. Tell us all about your schedules. I would even love to hear, I know as tried as it sounds, what's your favorite layover? I would love to hear your favorite layover. Anywhere you've found this, wherever that comment section is, feel free to leave any feedback there. My name is Alma, and this has been One Left Inboard.